What is going on, everyone? My name's Boit, and I'm back with some more Age of Mythology retold action in the left-hand corner of the map, playing as the Blue Fishy. His name is Matador, the one, the only. His opponent today, fellow Australian Egyptian enthusiast extraordinaire, a lover of the Earth Wall. His name is BQVH. I like to call him Ben, and his name, and he's playing as a new We're on the map Tundra, and this game comes to me courtesy of a very, very good friend of mine, Nyan Racing Cat. He was telling me that this is an amazing game, lots of action, and we are going to be seeing a bit of a Chinese mirror, which can be very, very micro oriented. It can be really, really difficult. It just depends on how these guys want to play it, you know? Like, I say this all the, well, this is my own like thoughts about RTS in general, but there's like three things that you could sort of do in an RTS game, and a lot of the times you just get to decide what you want to do. It doesn't really, like, some stuff is going to be better than other stuff for sure, but inside of what you decide, how you execute is what's important. But the three things you can do is, you know, you can increase your income, get more villages, you can get an extra town center. You can increase the amount of stuff that you have when you spend your resources, you know, on things, buildings, units, etc. Or you can make your stuff better by spending your resources on tech. So we'll see which way these guys are going to go. There's sort of two ways that I see this going in a way. Is like either we're going to see one player go really, really aggressive with one town center ideas. You got the Fushi who can go for Chi Yol, making Yatsa, making a whole bunch of infantry units and trying to put some early game pressure on, especially considering the map has got some pretty difficult to secure gold mines. Or, I mean, Nuwa can also do something similar like that as well by going through Gen Nu and making like a reincarnation style aggressive attack where you get reincarnation, which basically makes all your units 20% cheaper because you get a free one every time you lose 5 of them. I say basically. I know it's not exactly the same thing, but that's how I like to think about it in terms of the value I'm getting from the tech. So it's it makes a lot of sense for me to be grabbing that one. So if you do want to go that way, it is good. Or you can go for Earthwall. You can go for the How To, and you can grab a forward town center here, nice and quick. Secure this gold mine with Earthwall, and you're also securing some hunt here and some hunt here. And, you know, life gets very, very tricky for the aggressive player, but, you know, there's a lot of options that they can go for, especially with Nijar, to raid the main base and all the other good stuff. So there are some ways to go here. But we are seeing, a certain BQVH Ben decides not on how to. He clicks it for a moment, decides, you know what? We're going to go for something a little bit more spicy here. We are going to be getting the Zhanwu, and we are also going to be getting the Chi Yo. So, yeah, this is gonna be a spicy game. Like, you don't get to see this all too often. As the Yatsas come out, are we gonna be seeing there's no fast second town center, it doesn't look like. There's no upgrades coming through just yet. Lots of food in the bank at the moment. Does he have any upgrades here? He doesn't have a hand axe, doesn't have a pickaxe. Grabbing himself the Imperial Academy to get himself that Nijar out. Ben does have the advantage here of advancing a little bit later, which means he's going to have a little bit more resources to play with early on. However, Matador is going to be able to put the pressure on. So he's just going to be looking to claim a little bit of idle time. And if luckily a villager kill comes his way, he will snap that up. So these Deuterinos coming in, the Pioneers are on the way. We do see an immediate clay peasants getting dropped down for maximum amounts of early game advantage here, as the villagers on this hunt probably not going to be going down anytime soon. Matador getting just a little bit of damage done, and Ben says, I don't mind here. We're just gonna be defending it up, and we do actually see a military academy coming down here. On the other side, still no buildings down just yet. You can definitely go in for archers here. You can go in for javeliniers. You can go in for Dao. You're probably going to be missing the halberdier early on here. There is a chance. I mean, Nuar is the cavalry specialist, quote unquote, for for the Chinese, so making those halberdiers a little bit later to deal with those cavalry makes some sense. But yeah, in this situation, before then, you just want to be dealing with what your opponent's doing. And Matador does scout this. He sees the military academy, sees the machine workshop. The Yahtzer here gets sent packing by the double Chillin. I like this idea, actually. The Chillin are the same speed as the Yahtzer, but they have that special ability. So they're going to be able to get damage done. And this actually shuts the Yahtzer raids down, of which is generally a really, really difficult task for the Chinese to, or sort of, yeah, deal with. If you don't have the Yahtzer yourself, like, how do you kill off the Yahtzer? Well, yeah, Chillin makes a lot of sense. Getting that special ability, getting the damage done over time, especially against Fushi, who can't heal that one up until he gets access to the sages. As the units are moving out of the base, these villagers here getting caught out. And is that going to be a dead villager? Answer, no. Good control by Ben. Gets those ones back. And is going to be grabbing some goats over there. Meanwhile, we are actually seeing Matador grabbing a terrible town center, but a town center nonetheless. And I say it's terrible because there's literally like 2 wood lines next to it. Not ideal for him. However, because Ben, he does snipe that Yahtzer there as well, because Ben is going for a pretty heavy classical fight here, how is Ben going to be able to push this town center? How is he going to be able to punish this town center? Well, he's going to have to build fire archers. So what does Matador need? Well, he needs lots of wood. So it doesn't really matter that he can't get onto this gold mine nice and early. He can just jump over onto the wood line and he can build himself a butt ton of Javelineers to just hold on. They don't cost much gold. I think they cost 10 gold a piece. They are like the cheapest gold costed unit, I think, in the game. He is actually getting himself some Dao Swordsmen to kick this off just so he has a bit of a front line. But those Javelineers would be very, very nice. As Ben now coming in with his army, going to be looking for that damage. Matador on the front food here. Not ideal. As the Pioneers will slowly snipe down these Dao Swordsmen. They're pretty beefy. They've got 30% pierce armor. So these heroes do take a long time to kill them, as Ben trying to go after them with those javelins. Great control, as always, from Matador. The villagers need to get pulled back. Chillin taking a little bit of damage. However, the Chillin will be able to heal themselves back up. As long as he doesn't lose any, he should be fine here. Does lose the Dao finally. As do you actually see Matador very aggressively grabbing that forward gold mine? I was saying he doesn't really need it because he can just go for Javelineers, but he wants to be there. And not only that, is that going to be a tower? I imagine he's probably going to grab a tower onto this one to try and hold onto that spot. A couple more Daos are coming out here as Ben says, "Hang on, you're not allowed out onto this spot. You're not allowed here. If you're not going to have the units out, this is not going to be a gold mine for you there." As the Daos charging forward, smacking down everyone. There are 2 inside of this military camp, which it looks like Matador has forgotten about, as the Chillin still not quite going down, has lost a lot of HP on them though, as the towers do come up now. The towers cannot shoot at the base of their the military camp. There's a bit of a range problem with them, but they can shoot those fire archers. However, this is going to go down. It is 1200 HP. So it's a very, very strong tower. Getting the value out of it though, but Matador needs to pull back, and now we are actually seeing that technology reincarnation coming down. Lots of units have already fallen for Ben, but he's grabbing that one in a nice little moment. He's got 2.9k military resource value here, so as he loses these units, they will pop out of his temple here and rejoin into the fight, getting himself more Chillin out as well. As long as he, as long as he doesn't lose these, they're just going to keep stacking on stacking on stacking. I believe they're doing like 0.5 HP a second now. It used to be like 1 HP a second. It was quite overwhelming, but 0.5 HP a second, it's still enough. Once you get 3, 4, 5 of these bad boys, they're just going to be hovering full HP. Your entire army, it's like a moving healing spring. It's not like a moving healing spring. It is a moving healing spring. However, gold mine's being pushed off of. Now, one idea here for Matador would be to send villagers over and sneak this gold mine. The biggest weakness of the Chinese army is that it's very slow. You got a 4-speed fire arch. You got a 3.8 speed Dao Swordsman. Villagers are moving at 3.8 speed as well, right? But they can easily just go, okay, we're over here. Okay, you're coming over onto this side. All right, we'll move down to this bottom corner. We'll move back over onto this gold mine, etc. So in order to lock that up for Ben here, he's got to move forward, and he's going to get some buildings down onto these gold mines, get towers up so that villagers can't just walk over there and secure the gold mine without taking any damage. But Matador trying to defend here. He gets himself up this tower. It's 600 HP. It's going to go down really quickly to these fire archers, as Ben is just saying, I am not taking it slow here. I don't care about losing a few units. I got that reincarnation. That's going to be paying for itself in spades if we keep on putting pressure on getting value with our army. Villagers finishing up over here onto these berry bushes. Matador even has accidentally put a Quailfu onto that goat there. He needs those over onto the gold. His gold mine is about to expire. Though he does have the Peach Blossom Spring, so he's got an extra 1,400 gold there to play with. Meanwhile, lots of military buildings up onto this side. Matador's actually got the attachment to spam these out. And Ben says, hang on, I could probably take the town center down here. And he's not wrong. He's got the army advantage in a huge way. If Matador wants to hold this position, he probably needs to pump towers down. As we do see, he's over onto the gold mine, onto this thing. These are gathering so insanely quickly. 5.17 gold. So Matador is going to get a huge spike in resources here to pump units out. His army is now looking quite strong. You can see that he doesn't need really any fire archers here. It could be a half-decent idea to get some fire archers included just to deal with the Dow. But the fact is he's just playing defensive. He needs to not lose units, but he's just playing defensive here, so he doesn't need any pushing power with those fire archers. But nonetheless, the chillin' numbers are starting to get out of control. There's 4 in on the fight at the moment. The favor is still coming through strong. He's got 12 favor per minute. Over onto the other side, it's 14 favor per minute, so it's not a crazy advantage. We do see a vanish here. I don't understand this one in the slightest, but it looks like Ben is saying, ooh, let's go for the main base. He's got 10 seconds on this, and he does get spotted here. That's going to be a whole bunch of villager kills as Matador now has to relocate into the main base here. Villagers falling everywhere. The gold is down, and now the Quailfu are going to make a run for the tower here. Towers are getting a decent amount of damage done, but you have to also remember the chillin' are healing everything back up. So even though the damage is coming in, they're not doing a whole lot. And now lightning weapons comes through. Ben says, all right, I'm taking this fight. Your lightning weapons does not scare me. I think it should. Look at that micro there from Matador sniping so many of those fire archers up so quickly. However, he's got no good answer for the Dow swordsman here. As the chillint's still going to be left alive. The rest of these Matador units pulling into the town center to bail. And Matador, is he selling? He is selling. He's selling wood at the moment. A machine workshop coming up onto the top here. The Quailfu going to make a little sneaky move over onto this gold mine. And Ben has to be aware. He's got to be thinking, okay, if he's not here, he's got to be here, right? Or he's got to be up here. He's got to be checking these little spots. The villagers could also sneak up to this gold mine or even up to this gold mine. Does Matador know about those? He does see those gold mines there. In fact, he doesn't know there's a gold mine on this right side as the silo comes down. And now Matador finally, he uncovers this gold mine. He's going to be very happy about that one. There are some pioneers in the army for Ben, so he can start sending those lanterns left, right, and center. I actually don't think it's a terrible idea here to make a push for this town center and for Ben to actually drop a town center himself. He doesn't need to kill the... he needs to kill the town center, but also like grabbing a town center in this moment while doing that makes a lot of sense because, you know, he's probably going to get some villager kills. He's got the military advantage. And yeah, life is going to be nice for him. He can also go for some villager snipes here. Take a look at the damage. It's 15 hack damage as the chillin coming through. 15 hack damage is a huge amount of damage to do onto some units here, but it almost kills off the villagers. And if you take a look at the actual HP that these guys have, it's 67. So do the math. 15, 30. You get 5 of them. You're going to be doing 75 damage. or 75 hack damage, and these guys have got 67 hack armor. So 5 of these is going to be... Is that how math works? Yeah, 5 of these is going to be killing off a villager in one shot. As the town center over here will be falling. Ben says main town center is going to be the option, but a lot of units are falling for this as Matador trying to hold. But he's losing a lot of villages as well. But so too on the other side, Ben is not getting villages in. And Matador has got a gold mine now. Matador just needs to get himself some fire archers out. And he should be okay here to continue along in this game. But Ben can definitely find an advantage now by grabbing a town center. He doesn't have to continue the all-out warfare. He's killed the town center. He's got the chilling out to continue giving himself extra value on his army, though that Najar Inn is scary. You got to not lose any chillin to that one there. As the chillin come through and torch a couple more villages. No, not villages. Army on the back there. The Najar might get a chillin kill. I think it did snipe one there. But behind all this, Ben is allowing gold to come through. He is allowing gold to come through on this bottom side. As the Pioneers getting some damage done over here. They will be able to snipe even more units. Matador is falling so far behind in population right now. In fact, that maybe, just maybe, the correct move for Ben right now is just to move up to the top, snipe this town center, and then he can go after some villages or something like that. Meanwhile, on the bottom, I mean, Matador is grabbing Hunt. He's getting everything on the map, not needing to farm, which is so big for him to keep himself in this game. If he had to farm, then life would be getting very, very tricky, as Ben is just going to take the time here to just kill all these buildings. See a cheeky little Pioneer trying to escape there. That's not going to go anywhere. And can Matador pull this one back? This is going to be incredibly tricky for Matador here. He's got the buildings up here. He's still just building Dow and Javelineers, getting another military camp up. I want to see some fire archers here, because the fact of the matter is, yes, there's 17 Wuzu, but how are you going to kill off those Dow? Meanwhile, on the back here, Ben says, all right, why go for a town center when I can go for the heroic age? It's a valid option, but it does keep the pressure on a little bit, because you have to wait the time to get this heroic age in. You need to get value out of this heroic age very, very quickly. And the longer the game goes on, with Matador being in front by 20 villages here, or over 20 villages, the less this military advantage is going to matter. So yes, he's got 5.6k to 3k. Yes, he's now got a extra 1,300 resources coming in terms of this heroic age. Yes, he's going to get some tech advantage when he gets to the next age. But all of this takes time, and that's going to give Matador the opportunity to recover, or better yet, get some revenge damage done. And at the moment here, with Ben only on one town center, he can't afford to lose villages. So the army for Ben coming back up here, trying to hold on. The villagers push back into the main base. Dow swordsmen chasing villagers. They're terrible raiders. They have the same speed as a villager here. So the villagers can literally just run back into the town center, no problems there. However, villagers all over the place now starting to get attacked. This is so wild to me to see the Dow swordsmen getting villager kills. This is just wild. Anyways, rush shell coming through. We see watchtowers coming in. Survival equipment as well, as the units do get pushed back onto this side. Matador is desperately trying to get value here as Dow Swordsman chasing Dow Swordsman. And also Matador managing to get to the heroic age himself, going through Gol Mang. Onto this side, a Fey Beast makes a lot of sense here. There's no heroes at the moment. The Fey Beast only 75 HP. Will get taken down pretty quickly, but they get some half-decent value there. No micro from Ben to start running them away there. As another lightning weapons getting dropped down onto this position here to attempt to hold on. The Bayou coming through to help out on the fight, as now Golmang is in. And there's the forest protection on top of the Imperial Academy in an effort to try and hold this position. Both players are pretty close on population right now, but it's a military population lead for Ben. However, the forest protection, it's so good at holding these little spots here. You can see the damage that comes in. It might not seem like a lot, but it's doing this damage to every single unit multiple times. As the Tao Wu charges in, and now Ben has to reorganize himself. There was a big raid here from those Dao Swords and picking up even more villagers. So the villager differential is still about 25-ish villagers, so still equal, as we are now going to see Matador saying, all right, time for a town center here. He's going to be pulling, grabbing that one back. He does have the gold mag, so he will be wanting to go into some cavalry here at some point. That being said, do you really want to tech heavy into them? At the moment, your opponent is like Dao Swordsman heavily and has access to Divine Judgment, which is going to mean that the halberdiers that are going to come through are already going to have their upgrades, and they're going to be extremely effective against the cavalry. So maybe you don't even want to go into them that heavily. You can just build a couple that run around and raid, because, you know, your opponent's speed is quite slow. As a ballet to come up to defend this gold mine, it's got 4,700 gold. It's plenty of gold here. Definitely want to be defending it. The villagers up onto this side have finished up on this gold mine, but still eating hunt and all the other good stuff. As the town center now back up for Matador. He doesn't have a lot of gold. The ballet coming through as Ben says, hang on, that is 7 seconds from completion. Let me charge in here and get some kills before that one finish up. Yes, he is still fighting underneath the forest protection here, but with a ballet through, life is now going to become very, very tricky. The javelin is trying to get the snipes in. Onto the backside, though, the Chillin tanking up a lot, but the front line there does end up falling. Matador holds yet again. And I think this entire situation for Ben could have been avoided if he just dropped the town center instead of going to the heroic age here. Killing off that second town center and then going to the heroic age makes a lot of sense a lot of the time, but you have to get villagers. You have to get villager kills, which Ben didn't get, and he probably just needed to grab a town center, and he probably would be like maybe 10 villagers behind, a slightly later heroic age, but still have gotten to the heroic age and been in a good spot. But now we are going to be seeing White Horse Cav. We are going to be seeing Heavy Cav. We are going to be seeing Hooves of the Wind, which is, like I said, this is a little bit risky. This is a big amount of resources to spend to come in onto this, to come into these Cav. And Ben, simply put, just needs to make halberdiers here. As the villagers coming up to the top, going to grab this gold mine. Pretty sneaky. The Dao Swordsman coming up here to just make sure that nothing is going to go wrong there. And Matador looks like he wants to go Mythic Age. He's trying to sneak this Mythic Age out. He's not really building that many units. A couple of White Horse Cavalry to distract. Makes sense. But did he need to go for those technologies to do this? No. He probably could have just gone 6-speed, White Horse Cav, run around the map. And then your opponent has to deal with them while trying to get to that Mythic Age. However, it is kind of looking like he doesn't have the gold right now, but he's almost got the food in. Can he sell food? He can sell food a little bit. Can't really sell the wood. But it doesn't look like Ben is falling for it. He's got himself out the siege. Siege crossbow, going to do huge damage onto the ballet. The army is out of position. It is killing off villagers here, which is really big. Losing the ballet isn't the end of the world here. For Matador, it does stop his White Horse Cavalry production a little bit, but there are 3 ballets, 2 up to the top, as Matador is just simply going to leave this position, I think, move up to the top, grab this gold mine with 2 ballets. He should be okay there to defend. As the Quaofu make their move, White Horse Cavalry coming around onto the back. They will have been abandoned by their front line, so that's a lot of damage to come through from Matador. Those are such strong cavalry units. Look at the damage. They're barely taking any damage. 1 cavalry down after so many dead archers, as Ben there does decide to tap out. He's lost all of his units there. He's lost a huge amount of villages. He's down over 60 villages, or nearly 60 villages there. And what a game there. Ben almost managing to take down the Titan that is Matador. A couple of slightly better decisions in this game from Ben, specifically scouting out the sides of the map, making sure that no gold mines were getting stolen, would be huge for him. But more importantly, that decision to get himself that second town center would have been so key, in my opinion. I mean, another option would have been to drop some towers down on his specific resources. He wasn't planning to go into a ballet at any point here to build cavalry. He just was going to go for this Fey Beast idea. But if he went 2 TC, he could have actually gone Golmang and then made a transition into White Horse Cavalry as well. Could have been a nice way to play this, considering the Fushi doesn't have access to Rush Ult, won't be making super infantry units. So he does have Chi Yul, so the halberdiers are pretty obnoxiously strong, but still you can go that way. But nonetheless, a well-played game here from both players, but Matador takes the win. If you guys enjoyed this game, make sure you hit that follow button, hit that subscribe button, and all the other good stuff. And I'll see you guys in the next one.